In this video, we are going to show you how to update the status of your students and close out your summer camp interventions. On my screen, I am going to be using a pilot server with fake students and fake data. Any likeness to a real student is purely coincidental. I'm going to navigate to my MTSS Interventions landing page by coming to Utility Apps and clicking on MTSS Interventions. All of my active interventions will be listed here, and I'm going to click into the interventions that I need to complete. Once I open up my intervention, I can update an individual student status if I need to throughout the duration of the intervention. In order to update a student's status individually, I can click on these three dots at the top right corner of the student's card and click Update Status. Here it's going to give me a flyout box to choose what to change this student's status to, and I will have options here and I will need to select the appropriate one. When you're ready to complete your intervention as a whole, you may want to mark students in bulk for their status. So I'm going to do that by coming up here to Manage Intervention. On my Students tab, all of my students enrolled in my intervention will be listed. What I'll need to do is use the box at the top of the list to select my students in bulk. Now here is where I need to decide if all of my students will have the exact same status or if I need to update some students to one particular status, maybe withdrawn, another group of students to complete. So I can check the ones that I need to update to a particular status, and then I'm going to come over here to Bulk Actions and change status. Here I'm going to have that same drop-down box, and I'm going to choose my particular status, whatever is appropriate for this group of students. Maybe I'm going to mark them as complete and assign a new status. Then I can go back for this one student or the other group of students that I need to mark as withdrawn or whatever the case may be, and I'm going to click Bulk Actions again, change status, and I'm going to choose whichever option is appropriate and assign the new status. So now what I'm going to be able to do is save this page. I've successfully updated my intervention, and since all of my students have a status of complete or withdrawn, I can now come up here to the top right on this same page and click Complete Intervention. Notice it tells me that once an intervention is completed, it can no longer be updated, so we want to make sure that all of the attendance, goal, and observation data is in for our students before we go in and mark Complete Intervention. If I want to enter in information here, I can add in sample information for this completion narrative. And then I'm going to click Complete Intervention. Now I have successfully completed that intervention. If I want to search for that completed intervention, I have these filters here on my landing page. I can uncheck Active and Pending and look for just my completed. And here is that completed intervention where I can go back into it and I can view the data for those students. So this will be how you will complete an intervention by updating the status of all of your students.